This video is sponsored by Skillshare, but more on that later.
Hello and welcome to Broadsword Wargaming. In this video we are going to be painting the brand new Leviathan box. It's already been decided, we rock, paper, scissors and fought over it.
No, you're painting the Tyranids.
I want to fail painting more Space Marines! I am painting the Tyranids, whilst Kira here...
I'm gonna paint some Space Marines.
You may paint some Space Marines.
I never thought I'd want to paint Space Marines, but here we are.
How are you feeling about it?
Anything's better than Tyranids.
I agree. We've got about 2 weeks now until this video can go out at this point, right? So, how are you feeling? Good? Bad?
Confident. I reckon we can get it done.
I think so. I think we can actually get a box video done. We've done the Horus Heresy box. We've failed at Cursed City. I failed every 24-hour video, so why wouldn't I fail this one as well? Well, because I've got
There's
you.
not too much to it.
Sure, if you're painting the Space Marines.
Yeah.
So let's get cracked. It's fine.
Keep going.
So let's get stuck in and see how we get on.
I'm not doing a second take. It's very hot in here.
And my chair keeps falling down one square at a time.
Let's go.
Get ready for an exciting challenge as we dive into the captivating world of Warhammer 40k. In this video, we embark on an ambitious endeavour, painting the latest Warhammer box set, Leviathan. But this won't be your ordinary painting session. No, my friends, we're taking it to the next level. In one corner stands a true master of precision and meticulousness, renowned for infusing life into their miniatures. And in the other corner, well, there's me. Our goal is to uncover the true time it takes to paint a Warhammer 40k army. You've probably come across numerous videos and posts showcasing completed armies, but is that a realistic achievement for most of us? Kira and I lead typical lives with full-time jobs, a child and the shop. I'm not even sure if we'll have enough time to swiftly finish a single model. But you know what? I won't let that put me off. Now, it did take me an extra day to find the time to get into the studio to film some of this assembling footage. Unfortunately, that's one day less that we had, and it took me about 4 to 5 evenings at home to get everything assembled. If you know Kira at all, you'll know she does not assemble miniatures. That's not her job, that's not her role, and she hates it. So all of that was left down to me, and we got there in the end. So 5 days in, I got everything done. A little bit about these models is they are all push fit. They are monopose miniatures, so you have no other ways of building them other than the way it shows you. You could, of course, do a little bit of converting, cut out some of the little push elements, and then you could sort of change them around yourself. I don't really like to do that, I don't have the time to do that, but I'm sure there's plenty of you out there who love to convert your own miniatures. If this is your first time assembling anything, I think you'll find the guides quite good. And the push-fit versions of these are better than the previous ones. Normally you need to clip off a little element of the join, but this time you did not. Overall, it was actually quite a relaxing process, and I really enjoyed getting everything together. There's a hell of a lot in this box, so we'd best get stuck in. So 5 days in, it's Kira's go.
It's me. I bet you didn't think I'd be doing a voiceover in this video, but here I am. Anyway, so I'm spraying these to get a nice zenithal undercoat so that the contrast paint will go over a little bit easier, and it's super quick to do with the rattle can, so that saved us a lot of time. And it's super smooth too, surprisingly. Here they all are, nice zenithal, ready for some airbrushing. Then we're airbrushing on some Flesh Tearers Red contrast, and you can see that the zenithal underneath makes a huge difference and saves us so much time. So just put lots of thin layers on until you get one nice thick layer, because I find the thicker you spray on contrast paint, the glossier it finishes and it just looks nice and rich. I was getting lots of hand cramp doing this, so I did have to get Ollie to do little bits for me here and there, because my delicate little lady hands were getting sore. This was the first dreadnought I ever painted. Way! Look at them all. They look great. That took no time at all, considering there were so many of them. And I'm super happy with how they turned out. On to the next part.
With the Tyranids, I too am going to be relying on some zenithal undercoat and priming. I spent quite a while trying to decide on a scheme, and I hadn't really picked one out. Eventually, when I had, I was using Mechanica Standard Grey with the Grey Seer and white over, and that was making the chitin or the armor parts of the Tyranids. And unfortunately, I ran out of Mechanica Standard Grey, so I had to build up from black. And as you can see, there is a nice tone change on these models. I'm kind of doing a reverse Leviathan scheme I think I worked out at the end. So using Luxion Purple, I'm going to paint all of the skin on all of the Tyranids. This does take absolutely ages, particularly when you're trying to avoid painting the guns or any of the armor. I wasn't sure what I'd do with the claws, but eventually I just painted them anyway on the smaller models because it was too difficult to avoid painting any of the claws as well as the armor. That's kind of the color scheme we're going for. I don't plan on doing a lot more to the skin, and the same with the armor plates, I don't plan on doing a huge amount too. This does again take a few days, and eventually I think by the time this is kind of all done, I have a rough idea of how the army is going to look. I'm pretty happy with the scheme. It's definitely reverse Leviathan, but it is a bit different, and if I like it, that's good.
Okay, we've got the reds down. It's time to get this a little bit more saturated looking. So we're going to pop some Druchii Violet all over those red areas. Be nice and liberal with this, just make sure it's not pulling on any flat panels. And I think right about here, yep, here is where I realized I was taking way too much time doing bits that I was eventually going to paint black anyway. But there, look, it looks much more saturated, much more juicy. Compared the backpack to the legs, you can see the difference. And then it's time to black out all the pauldrons and the backpack and the head and the gun and make this guy look a little bit more like a flesh terror. So take your time, be careful with this because you don't want to go and touch up any of the red that you get overspill on. And there he is, he's ready for some highlights. So I used a chunky highlight with a dark grey, I think Eshin grey. Everywhere I thought that the light would touch that needed a highlight, and then I do a much thinner, much more sparse highlight with a very bright grey. I think this was Celestra grey. This is going to look very scary and very cartoonish when you first do it, but we're going to bring it back in a minute quite easily. So there he is. He's still looking good, but a layer of Null Noil is going to fix that bright, bright, bright highlight, give a little bit more depth to the Aquila. And that's it. That's the basic Flesh Terror colour scheme.
Some of these Tyranid models are absolutely excellent, and they have some really weird details on them. This is the big brain bug. I genuinely still now, 2 weeks later whilst doing this voiceover, don't know its name. Neuro Tyrant, massive brain, big brain model. Using the Orc Flesh contrast paint, I think green goes really nicely with the purple and the white. Whilst we wait for that to dry, let's have a quick word from our sponsors. It can be tough mixing hobbies and work, but it's incredibly satisfying doing something you love every day. Now, you've probably heard of Skillshare for their amazing film and video editing courses, but did you know they offer hundreds of career-focused classes? And now is the perfect time to reinvent yourself and your goals. Let me share a little of my personal story with you. Broadsword has been a massive turning point in my life, and Skillshare has been my secret weapon for staying ahead of the game. As my industry evolves and my needs change, Skillshare empowers me to continuously reskill and adapt. With all the normal things happening in life, plus opening a hobby shop and developing a YouTube channel, it can be really difficult to manage my time effectively. It often leads to 2 AM finishes just to get the things I think I need done. Well, Thomas Frank and his video Real Productivity genuinely gave me some life-changing tips. With time being my most valuable asset as it is for most of us, using it wisely has truly changed my life. Are you ready to jumpstart your 2023 goals? Well, I've got an exclusive offer just for you. The first 1,000 people to use the link below will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. So head on over to Skillshare and join this incredible community. It's time to invest in yourself and seize the opportunities that lie ahead. With that, let's get back to the video. Okay, so I think you're getting an idea of how these models are going to look. Something else I thought would really add to the shells of these is a gloss varnish. By making this super shiny, it makes it really easy for me to apply oils or inks or even washes into the recesses to break up the armor panels. I have at this point done a little bit of pink and purple on some of the things, but the scheme hasn't fully developed yet. I do think the shiny glossy carapace adds something extra, and I will eventually matte down or maybe use satin on the skin. And this is where all of the Tyranids are at right now. All of the purple is done, all of the greens are done, and I've added a few extra details here and there. Unfortunately, the bulk of the work is still yet to be done, but we're getting there. The only issue is time is now against us.
We are over halfway through our allotted time slot, right? I would like this video to go live Saturday at 10 AM. Realistically, I'd love it for Sunday. I think we're probably looking more like Tuesday now.
I'm further behind than I want to be, but still pretty confident.
And further ahead than I am.
Yes, always.
At this point. What have you got done so far?
They're all their main colours. They're all red and black. So I sprayed rattle cans black to white and then airbrush red. And some of them have their wash and the captain is almost finished.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Not bad. You say you've got a big stream coming up as well, haven't you?
11-hour stream coming up soon, where I'll be doing literally 11 hours of painting these guys. So there's still plenty of time, and 11 hours is a good amount of time. I reckon I can get the majority of them done on that stream.
Okay.
We'll see.
I will add in it's 11 hours stream because you're doing 40,000 seconds of 40K because you got 40,000 Instagram followers.
40K!
Well done, well done. I am not as far ahead. Basically, I didn't fully decide on a scheme before the box arrived, where you did.
Yes.
Hugely important.
Top tip, work on your schemes now.
Know exactly what you want before you start painting them, because it's really hard to do. I've got all the spray can stuff done, which was quite easy, and that is big chunk of the scheme, to be honest. Spray cans are a
lifesaver, yeah.
I've got the majority of the purple done on everything, which I think is the longest part of this whole process for me, is getting all the purple skin done. I'm still not really sure how to finish the models off, but I'll work that out later on. I don't think I'm going to get this whole box done.
I think I might.
Okay.
Which means we won't, because
obviously you're always overconfident.
you're not pulling your weight.
Yeah, it took 5 days assembling, and I did all the assembling. So
I assembled some.
5 neurogons.
Some.
Yeah, some.
Anyway, we're going to check back in and let you know how it went.
The very next day brought us to Kira's stream, and well...
Nope.
That's the kind of thing that happened. But whilst that was happening, she was also painting in details and getting miniatures done. 11 hours is quite a long time. I was painting alongside her as well.
I'm Bob Ross.
It was quite difficult at this point to get us together to paint together as well because of the shop and other things going on. It was really hard to put both of us together. So I spent a lot of time, maybe 4 to 5 nights now, painting at about 2:30 in the morning. Kira then streamed again, I streamed over on YouTube, and she maybe had 2 or 3 more streams to get everything done. I felt the pressure a little bit because I'd fallen behind. Not only have I obviously got to paint and do the other jobs, I've also got to edit the video out as we go along. Eventually, I got there. We got some models done, more than I thought we'd get done at the point of halfway through the video, but probably less than I wanted. I moved on to the basing. It's my favorite part, using the Geek Gaming Scenics basing materials available from broadswordwargaming.com. If you are over in the EU, check out the links in the description below. This is a super easy and super fun part of the project. Snow was the way we'd settled on. I felt like having white armor would look really cool on a snowy board. So I used a grimdark city rubble, then added in some tufts. And the advantage to the tufts is it gives you a little more interest on the base. I don't just like a boring bland base. It's super easy, super quick, and really affordable too. Putting some tufts on some bases just adds a bit more interest to the miniatures. Then I went in with the base ready snow powder. Again, available from the website. This stuff is awesome. If you wet the base or put this on whilst the glue is still there, it will pile on, you can shake it away, and you'll end up with an army that looks a little bit like this. The snow has been applied and it's really cool. Just 1 or 2 more details to go until we are there. Now, this was Kira's kind of job. She's not around to do the voiceover, so I'm going to do it for her. We've done this before. This is kind of a cool, slobbery, goopy, disgusting process. Using the Uhu glue very quickly, stick a dump onto the model, grab a little cocktail stick or something else, and just mush it around until it dries. Bear in mind, it will dry very quickly, so I couldn't film this myself, so I got Kira to do it for me. It looks like that, and that is how a Tyranid should look like. A big, disgusting maw with lots of slibbery? Don't know, is that a word? And then it's on to the transfers for Kira's side. So these are extra details as well. She hasn't done much transfer stuff, but I've done a fair bit. So she was downstairs working in the shop whilst I was doing this for her upstairs. And that's the advantage of painting with someone else. You can help each other out. This is kind of the last step we got to, and as far as we got. It's now Sunday night. This video is going live today, Monday, if you're watching it. And this is everything. This was about 2.5 weeks worth of work. And I have to say, it looked pretty awesome. I got a fair chunk done. Probably over half the box, but unfortunately not a combat patrol. Whilst Kira got about the same done, including the dreadnought. So if she just got the librarian done, she would have a combat patrol as well. I have stuck in the captain she did as a test scheme. And that's it. What do you think to these? I personally am really happy with the scheme. It's a little bit different. It wasn't initially what I settled on, but it was great. Whilst Kira's flesh tearers look absolutely exceptional. And this is the main point of the video, is were we happy with the work we got done in the time frame? And I honestly think, yes, both of us were delighted. I've got another couple of weeks now to finish these off before the Leviathan box set comes out. Hopefully you managed to get your hands on one as well. If you didn't, check out the website down below at broadswordwargaming.com to support the channel. And honestly, don't pressure yourself. Don't feel bad if you don't get things done. My Indomitus box is still sat there half assembled anyway. But I just thought these models are awesome. The new Terminators are great. The new Tyranids are awesome. And ultimately, it was a fun experience. Despite the fact it was a late, challenging, tiring process, you want to enjoy it too, and that's the whole point of the hobby. So please don't put the pressure on yourself to get things done just because you've seen others do it. Hobby in your own time, enjoy yourselves, take care, and I'll catch you in the next video.